Today I'm painting in Artrage on the iPad. Hi everyone, Steve Elliott here. It occurred to me it's been a long while since I've actually used Artrage to produce a painting, so I thought I would give it a go. So I fancy doing an oil painting. I visited some friends this weekend and they got quite an impressive art collection actually, and there's one artist I can't remember the name of the guy, but I was really took by his style and his use of bright colours. So all the while I was looking at these paintings, and they were actually hanging in the guest room that I was staying in. So all the time I was looking at these paintings, I was thinking, I like his use of colour there. I like the use of colour. I'm going to do something like that. I'm going to do something like that. So that's the first thing, that's actually the second thing that inspired me to do this painting. The first was last week I went on a canal trip with my partner and a couple of friends, and I took loads of photos along the canal bank and the river bank, and there's this one shot of a cow shading in the sun. So I thought this would be an ideal painting to do in sort of bright colours. There was lots of pastels in there and sort of white mixed in with the colour, but some bright colours as well. So this is my sort of first layer that I'm working on, and I just use it as a sort of I guess a preliminary sketch really, just to get the sort of position of everything where I want it. And I used just the round oil brush, and here you can see I've gone into the thick oil brush because I wanted like a combination of two where you could see the canvas showing through the paint and then layering thick paint on top of that, similar to what you would get using Corel Painter. But I have to say it's a hell of a lot easier in Artrage. The technology in Artrage doesn't seem to get in the way of the painting, in as much that when I was working in Corel Painter, I'm thinking, how do I do this? How do I do that? It's a lot easier in Artrage, and even more so using the apps on the iPad. And I wanted to do a painting that was finished on the iPad, not sort of ported over to the PC version as well. And I'm going to do a few videos, I think, using it's also I thought, in Artrage on the iPad, I've never ever done a watercolour. And as you know, if you follow the channel, I like the watercolours, and I sort of try all the apps out. That's the first thing I use. You see, I've got the sort of touch thing going now. Every time I touch it with my finger, it puts a blob of paint on the screen. So eventually I disabled that. I went in and switched off the touch screen for painting, and then that wasn't a problem after that, similar to the problem I had with Art Studio. So anyway, I thought I've never done a watercolour in Artrage on the iPad, so that's coming up. I'm definitely going to be doing one of those, and I'm going to see, I've done a few simple sketches on my Samsung Note 8 in Artrage, but I want to see if it's possible to do a full-blown painting using an handheld device. So I'm going to give that a go. So those are a few things that are coming up. So you can see here I'm now working on another layer, and I built this up over 4 or 5 layers actually. The problem with using layers in Artrage in this in any version, is that once you start painting over, you create a new layer, it doesn't blend the paints with the colours underneath. So I tend to go to a new layer when I want to put some clean colour on and not mix it. But apart from that, I like the way the paints blend together. I switch off auto clean on the brush, so that the or do I? No, I keep auto clean on. I think there's a blending mode I've switched on. Anyway, the paints merge really nice. So I've got that on, and then I only create new layers when I want to put some really sharp colour that's sort of popping out from everything underneath. I eventually moved I painted the original cow on the first layer and then blocked it out and put it on its own layer, just so I could move it around if I wanted or change the scale of it. In actual fact, I didn't. I kept the scale the same all the way through. Once I'd got it how I wanted it, I didn't change it again. So sort of building up. I wanted really warm colours in this because it was a hot day and that cow was under that tree preventing itself getting sunstroke, which unfortunately my mate who was steering the narrowboat wasn't quite so lucky. And at the end of the day, because he was in the hot sun all day steering the boat, he did get a touch of sunstroke and he was quite sick. I didn't just sit around doing nothing though. To be fair, I was opening the canal locks and sort of working the ropes and sort of pulling the boat into the side with the ropes and all of that kind of thing. But it was a really fun day out, and I've got lots of paintings that I need to do from that trip. And this is one of them. I really like the use of I didn't make a palette. I just sort of picked the colours from the colour wheel. I don't know, you can call it a wheel because it's only a quarter of a wheel, but from that colour picker, I picked all the colours from that. And I love the fact that if you just hold the nib on the screen, it selects the colour that you already have on. So I was using that a lot. It really speeded up my painting really. And this whole painting took, I think, 2 hours from start to finish. I know it's bordering abstract, I suppose, and quite loose, but I did have a lot of fun with it. I think I got the colours reasonable. I like the selection of colours. I like the reason I went in with these reds. Somebody posted on, I think it was somebody called Rick, posted on the last painting of the cows I did that he would have preferred to see some warmer colours and some yellow in the sky. So this time I've gone with these really warm colours on the bank, but kept those cool colours around the cow and under the shade to hopefully give the impression that it's a little bit cooler where the cow is and it's scorching hot out of the shade. So hopefully that works. It does for me. I hope it does for everybody else. I went in, I painted the reeds, and then I kind of went in painting around them with negative brush strokes. And then I thought I need to really beef that cow up. Oh, sorry, bit of a pun there. Beef the cow up. I wanted to, that was not intended, honestly. I wanted to strengthen the colour of the cow and the shadow, and sort of I strengthened that up. There you saw all the layers I've got going off. Signed it, used the transform mode once I'd worked out how to use it on the iPad to shrink the signature down to a reasonable size. And then I went in and then just put a few finishing touches here and there. I put some more of the kind of limey green leaves in to sort of have the light reflecting or bouncing off those a bit higher up in the tree. And I also, at some point, I decided I need to bring that colour into the reeds. And there we go. And then put a little reflection of the reeds in the water. And there we go. That is it. That is my picture of cows in the hot sun. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, a big thumbs up as always. Much appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I have lots of videos like this and I would love to be sharing them with you. So hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.